Zabi asks.
Is it easy to live in Korea if you don't speak or read the language?
I rub my imaginary beard. You have a real beard.
I hummed so loud that my lip vibrated and then I got that awkward tickle lip syndrome. Do you know what I'm talking about when your lips feel ticklish?
No.
You've never had your lip feel ticklish before and it gets like really itchy and it drives you crazy?
Only if someone touches it. Don't do it.
You
Focus.
got food on your face. Let me be romantic.
No.
The answer is yes.
If you come here as a tourist, the touristy areas are quite English friendly. I would say English, Japanese, and Chinese.
So we're talking about places like Insadong and the palaces and Myeongdong as well. You have lots of signs and you actually have like helpers out there also. And you can ask them questions in different languages.
What if I speak Klingon?
Then I doubt you're gonna get any help.
What if I speak Elven?
Also doubt you're gonna get any
Well
help.
then, what the heck, Korea? So buses and subways also have signs in English. This is actually pretty new because when we were here 4 years ago, I remember getting on the bus and being like, oh God, where am I going?
But things have changed a lot in the 4 years that we've been here. So now like buses not only have signs that are in English, they also have announcements over the PA that will speak in Korean first and then they'll say the next stop is Uijeongbu, for example.
You picked the one stop that we could never pronounce.
Uijeongbu.
It's not a we, it's an It's like
Uijeongbu.
Uijeongbu.
When it comes to taxis though, you can forget about it because the taxi drivers often don't speak English and oftentimes they'll speak in fast Korean and you won't understand what's happening.
Oh, you know what though? I'm pretty sure they have those stickers in the taxis that we've never tried. They have like, you know
Right.
what I'm talking about?
The translation number, it says like, need an interpreter, call this number.
Yeah, I've actually never tried it before,
No.
but if they do use your GPS, they still don't necessarily know where you're going because they don't do street names in Korea.
Right.
They're like trying to get into street names. You might be like, this is where I'm going and give him a piece of paper with everything on it, but he may not know that. He might only know like the landmarks.
Right.
So that's the kind of thing that you get to know, I think, over time. On a side note, for some reason, people seem to think that we don't speak or read Korean. I'm not sure why this happened.
I think it's because probably like in a video we did like a year or 2 years ago, we said that we're not very good at speaking Korean, and as a result, people think that we don't speak it whatsoever,
No, I
which
think
is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we should clarify on that. We read Korean. Like,
We read
no
it all.
problem.
We can speak it when we leave our apartment and when we're out in the streets of Korea. We don't speak any English whatsoever.
We speak English
Korean
to each other.
To each other, yeah.
But when we say we don't speak a lot of Korean, I think it's because we're feeling really hard on ourselves. Like we don't
Right.
speak like university level, like let's discuss politics Korean.
I
Because
can't tell you my opinion about the female president in Korea apart from 좋아해요 or 안 좋아해요, which means I like it or I don't like it. But I
Yeah.
can't get into deep conversations in Korean.
yeah, but we can understand Korean, so
Yeah.
like if people are talking to us, we can have our like simple responses.
But we do know some people in Korea that don't speak or read Korean whatsoever. And it's starting to get a lot easier for them to live here than it was for us when we first came here as well. There's a lot bigger foreigner scene going on now, so there are a lot more foreigner bars and different ways that you can get in contact with like foreigner-based clubs via the internet and whatnot.
I would also say that Korea's making a bigger effort. I've seen
Things are
that-
getting progressively better for non-Korean speakers every year, I'd say.
I mean, it's pretty much possible that you can just live in a bubble. Like
We know people that live in
we
these
knew
kind of
people
bubbles.
that like came here and they shop at the grocery store and like you don't have to say anything to anyone. You just buy your food. They just show you the number. You just pay for it. You can go to foreign restaurants, foreign bars. You can go to foreign like trivia night. You can go to foreign dance clubs. You can just really live in this tiny little bubble and move around Korea.
And if you're in here in Korea as an English teacher, then you pretty much speak English all day.
And not only do you speak English all day, usually your Korean co-teachers would also like to learn English. Like this is an opportunity for them. So your Korean co-workers will try to speak English with you.
In fact, I remember being discouraged from speaking Korean to the students because they want the students to speak as much English as possible. And if the students knew that we understood Korean, then they'd use more Korean instead of English. Oh yeah, and also if you go shopping like at an electronics market or something, if you want to buy video games
clothing
whatnot,
or whatever,
clothing
yeah.
or whatnot, and you want to buy something, then oftentimes they'll bring out a big calculator and they'll type out the price for you so you can see the number itself.
Now, although we do know people that live like this, we personally wouldn't recommend it.
No, I wouldn't.
I just feel like it is seriously rewarding if you get to know the people that are in your neighborhood. And one of the biggest reasons why it was so hard for us to leave Bucheon was because we made an effort to get to know our local places that only spoke in Korean.
Right.
And they saw our like progression over time of not knowing how to speak Korean, like pointing at the menu, not knowing what anything is, having pieces of paper with translations.
That's exactly
Do you remember that?
it. Yeah, so like instead of just hanging out at the foreigner bars, we tried going to Korean restaurants and we tried speaking all the Korean that we would learn to the Ajumas working there. So that's the hardest part about when we left Bucheon. We felt like we became family with all the local shops around us. And here in Seoul now, we don't have that kind of like growth relationship that we had in Bucheon.
Case in point, do you know who I just remembered? Cheese Lady.
The cheese lady!
You remember Cheese Lady?
From Hyundai Department Store,
Yes.
the cheese lady!
Okay. So
Yes.
we went there, and at first it was just like the normal relationship that we bought cheese, and then she would just say like, 감사합니다 for buying the cheese. But then slowly, she started to talk to me in Korean, because she didn't speak English,
Right.
about cheese, and telling me like what her husband did with her recipes, and what she does with the recipes, and then I started chatting with her in Korean, and she was totally shocked. And it got to the point where she knew us so well that if Simon came to the department store without me, and went to buy
She'd
cheese,
be like, where is Martina?
she knew us really well. And then this one time, I remember that I was looking in like the cream aisle for something, and I felt someone come behind me and hug me. And my first thought was, number one, that best be Simon. Number two, it can't be Simon because they're way too short. That would be Simon like squatting all the way down to hug me. Number three, he's never behind hugged me. And number four, am I gonna have to kick some cream guy's ass?
Am I gonna have to lay someone flat out on the
That's
ground?
right. And I turned around with like all the hairs of my body bristling with anger, and
It was a cheese lady. Cheese lady surprise hugged her.
Surprise hug.
Let me ask you something. When's the last time you've been surprise hugged by any cheese vendor? When's the last time you've been hugged at any grocery store you went to?
I know some people at home probably just like vomited because they don't like being hugged by strangers, but Cheese Lady's not a stranger.
Cheese lady's family.
This is very important to us. Remember that one time we went for Parmesan cheese and they're giving up Parmesan cheese samples?
But they didn't have any more like to sell, so
'Cause
then
they
she
were
actually
gone.
like cut off a giant section of the Parmesan
put it
cheese,
in, like, a
put it in a bag
baggie.
and gave it to us for free.
She's like, take the cheese.
Free cheeses.
Cheese lady.
Please grate me, Parmesan cheese lady.
Make
is that
me
right?
some grated
Oregano.
Oregano's not cheese, it's an herb.
The point of this story isn't about getting free cheeses or about getting surprise hug from people. The point is that since we tried speaking Korean a lot more, our experience in Korea and our life in Korea is so much easier. So
Yeah.
yes, you can get by in Korea not speaking Korean or even reading it, but it's not as enjoyable in our
You're gonna
opinion.
miss out on so many adventures. The point they were getting at is that basically when you leave your house and you walk down the street, you're like, hey, fellow ajushi guard, and what's up, postman, and like, what's going on, cheese lady? And you just really feel like you're part of the community, even though you will always stick out as a foreigner. You're always like, Weikokin, you're never Korean. This is a way for you to really get involved in the community.
Right.
So that's why I think it's so important to get to know and speak Korean.
Again, you don't have to do that. You can get by in Korea without speaking Korean. But wait, I think we forgot a major point here. This is only if you're living in Seoul or close to Seoul, in which you do
True.
have these like more English-friendly places. But if you're like far from Seoul or far from a major city, you might be screwed.
Oh my god, our friends that lived in the countryside their first year, they learned Korean
Mighty fast.
so fast because you are literally the only foreigner or maybe the other foreigner.
Yeah.
And if you don't speak Korean, then you will just flounder. So they learn to read and write and speak Korean so quickly.
Within 24 hours, they're fluent. Boom! Now, we're only saying this from the perspective of people who speak English. So Korea's much more English friendly, but we're not sure what it's like from people who don't speak English in Korea.
Yeah, there's tons of tourists that come from different countries.
Right.
So I really love to know your experiences. Like if you guys came from Sweden or Indonesia or Japan and you didn't speak English or Korean.
Is it as easy for you as it was for us? I'm
yeah,
not sure.
Yeah, and even English-speaking tourists, maybe we're wrong about how good the English is for people
Could
and
be.
how good my English is because it's clearly going downhill.
It's clearly going nice. And that's it for this week's TLDR. If you have a question for next TLDR, leave your question in the comment section below.
Or on our website.
Because we answer questions on our website as well.
Yes, and check out the questions that are asked in both places, and you can thumb both of them up if you like the question, and if it comes to our attention, we just might answer it.
And don't forget to subscribe for more TLDRs where we make songs about cheese ladies.
Cheese
Lady.
Why did
She's
you?
so shady, cheese lady, hugging strangers from behind. What if it wasn't Martina? What if she hugged some dude with giant blonde hair? That would be awkward, but might start a brand new relationship. Illicit affairs.